Hi, welcome back to JSTV. Finishes Brighton 1, Newcastle United 2 at the Red Bull Arena in New York yesterday. And Newcastle came from a goal behind to beat the Seagulls with 2-1. Elliot Anderson scored two cracking goals. There's lots of positives to come for this game, John, because Eddie Howe's played the kids yesterday,
Oh,
and it's
it
been.
was fantastic. I truly believe there's a few guys on the team that are very young, but they're ready to play right now. And when I talk to people, I tell them, the way that we need so many minutes for everybody next year, and we're going to have injuries, you need to fold those young guys in. And the best time to do that, of course, is like at the 60-minute or 70-minute mark, maybe even 75, because generally, if 75 minutes, we usually have about 20 minutes left in the game, with the added time. So that's a good time to get those young guys experience. Plus, we work so hard on the field that the older guys, that the first string that's out there all game, they're starting to tire. And if you lose half a step in the Premier League, the other team's going to go right around you. So it's really important for us to get those young people in. And guess what? They look brilliant. It was great this week. Good to see them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't know what to expect in this competition. I don't know what Eddie Howe's going to play. The order, the tried and tested teams, and also the younger lads as well. Like got players like Parkinson's come out, Turner Cook as well, if I've pronounced his name right, and you got the Mighty brothers as well. Elliot Anderson played as well, and you know what? The list goes on and on. Remy Street and Alex Murphy too, and you know what? This would never ever happen under Steve Bruce or Mike Cashett era. Under Eddie Howe, it's just great to see.
Well, and I think also when Eddie was, just trying to keep us up, he was trying to keep those guys on the field as long as he could, because he didn't know exactly what he had beyond the first team, and he didn't want to go to the bench as much, I think. But now you got to trust them because they can help us, and they bring in those young, fresh legs, and they'll wear the other team out late in the game. So, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a little hoarse.
No, don't worry about it, mate.
10 days. It's not just the day of the game; it's the day before with everybody at the pub. It was just fun.
Yeah, and fun it was. I mean, you've got to talk about the fans as well. I mean, the fans who turned up from the UK to America, and all the usual names, usual suspects, being there like Tyneside Life, Adam Pearson, Black and White Banter, Magpie Channel, he turned up as well. I mean, did you get to meet any of these guys?
Oh, well, yeah. I saw Keith Downey several times. And I called him over, and he took a picture with my family because I had family in Atlanta that came in for the game. And then I saw Adam Pearson quite a lot. I gave him a ride from the match back up to his hotel one night, and saw him at all three places. Saw Eddie Hope and Helen from Tyneside Life. They're great.
Yeah.
Talked to them quite a bit. And then I had some friends from California that were there, Dan Devlin from Monterey, California, and Shade and Eddie from San Diego. And actually, Rich was from San Diego, too, and Bryant. So there was a big crowd from California. It was a lot of fun hanging out with those guys. Everybody's just thrilled, John, to see their favorite team in person. It was great.
Absolutely, I would have loved to be there, but I couldn't get the time off from work. But next year, it'll be my turn, hopefully, and I'll make sure I get those weeks off as well to come to America if we do play in America, because I've got a feeling this could be an ongoing tournament every year.
Well, you know what? Here's a point I want to make. In just a week or two, the Newcastle Amazon Prime series is going to come out, and once people get a taste for that, they're gonna, if they don't have a club already, they're gonna say, I like this Newcastle club. Look at this documentary about Newcastle. And so people will really follow them because I think different things like the Wrexham experience and Ted Lasso here in the US has gotten people interested in soccer a little bit more. I say soccer here, football there. But this Newcastle documentary is coming out just at the right time. So if they want to come back here, they can sell a lot of merchandise next time, and that's what we have to do to build up enough funds for transfers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, hope Darren Eales, our chief executive, get down to work, because he knows exactly what he's doing. And I just hope we go back to America, because I think that is the area where I believe we're going to get marketing. This is where I also believe the fans will enjoy coming back again. So it just makes sense if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? 7-8 hour flight, and the rest of it, you're there.
Yeah, I think Liverpool and Man United have done that for years, and that's why they have such a big following, and we need to do the same thing just to keep up with everybody. But we got to still retain our identity as a Newcastle, the scrappy underdog, that nobody thinks can amount to anything, and we're showing them differently this year.
Brilliant stuff. I was just been given a set of questions as well from Louise and one of my co-hosts as well. There's only a couple of questions need to go through, because hopefully you're going to get some more American fans on for the fan cam as well. And the first question I want to ask you: what was your best tournament, your best moments of the tournament?
Well, I have to. There were two. Yeah. So seeing Miggy score in Atlanta, the whole stadium stood up, like 70,000 fans. They love him there. So it wasn't just the Newcastle fans. There were a lot of Atlanta United fans there. And when he scored the goal to tie the match, the whole place got up. And my wife and I looked at each other, because the guy in front of us said, "Boy, I miss that guy." They're Atlanta United fans. And it was like, "Boy, I miss Miggy." And they were so happy that he scored. So that was moment number one. And then moment number two was last night, when we scored 2 goals at the end to win the match against Brighton. 2 quick goals right at the tail end. And Elliot Anderson proved, we only scored 6 goals in the whole trip. Elliot Anderson scored 3 of them. So, I think he needs time. He needs time on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I do love Elliot Anderson. I think this guy's going to be superb. He's already, I think he's ready for the Premier League, and he's got it there. What I've noticed about him, he's quicker, and he's got strength, he's got power, and 6 foot, and I think he's going to be a decent player, man. He really will be. What do you think of Eddie's main learning point will be?
His main learning point coming away from this tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I would think that the one thing, he seemed to try different lineups and things. He seemed to try a different formation, which I'm not sure he's going to stick with, But I think one of them is, I hope one of them is that some of these young guys can really help the team by spelling, giving people a spell off the pitch. And especially late in the game, get in there and just run your butt off, and give us honest 20 minutes, on the pitch, and let's wrestle this game away. So I hope that's one. I hope his eyebrow went up and is like, wow, these young guys can help us. Miley, Elliot Anderson, and I've got a supercharged Anthony Gordon ready to go. So that's good. And the unfortunate thing is Joe Willock and Shar, pulling up with an injury, both of them. That's the reason we need the youth is, you can't run the others too hard for too long. And these injuries are going to occur during the year. So get them in there.
100%. I mean, they can come in and do an absolute fine job as well. We don't have to spend millions on a replacement if we can help it, like Alex Murphy, we're going to come on to later on, and all the young guns as well. And yeah, the future is certainly bright in Newcastle United, so long may it continue. Anything Eddie should be worried about during the tour?
To be honest with you, the Premier League looks very competitive right now. Brighton looked good last year. They still look pretty sharp now. Chelsea's going to get over the problems they had last year. I think they're going to organize and really be a good club. They've got, you talk about youth, they've got a lot of young guys on that team, and they are just running hard. Nick Pope really saved us in that match.
He did he?
He did. He
All right.
Really good saves, Let's see. Yeah, I would say that, Brighton, Aston Villa, Chelsea, all three of them are going to be much better than they were last year, or, they'll be as good as they were last year. So they'll be challenging. And then you still got Man United, Man City, Liverpool. It's going to be tough,
Yeah, got to kind of agree. It's going to be exciting this season. It's going to be so much tougher. And if we can start well, then we've got nothing to worry about at all whatsoever. But we have got a tough start, by the way. Next question is, who do you think was the best opposing players to our lads? The best opponent we've played.
The best player we faced.
Yeah, we faced.
Games.
Yeah,
it was that darn number 10 for who do we play second?
Chelsea.
No, it was the Aston Villa number 10. It was the first game.
Is that Brendia? Is that Brendia?
Gee whiz, that guy. He scored 2 goals and got the assist.
Yes, that's Brendia.
He got past us. I mean, and we were trying a different formation, to be fair, right? Mm-hmm. And we never started. I don't think we ever started our back four, together. But he just ripped us up.
Yeah. I get what you mean. For me, it'd be Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea.
Yeah.
That guy, I'll tell you something now, he's going to be the new Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
He'd be the new Didier Drogba. I think against us, he caused us all sorts of problems, that guy, I'm telling you. And he just absolutely ripped us apart. And I think to myself, we need to get close to this guy, because I tell you, he's gonna absolutely rip us apart. I think this guy is gonna be, for me, one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
Yeah, you're right on that. You're right.
So excited. Let's just speak on the bell. We're getting too much clues away from this guy. Next question is going to be, if we did it again, anything you would like to change?
If I did this tour again,
if you did this tournament again, like next season, would you like to change things up, or would you just basically like play a bit stronger, sort of thing, and stuff like that? And
no, I think it's good the way we played, because we're trying out the players, and we're trying out people to see what they have, and we're also trying to be conscious of, it's the very beginning. We need to rest people, so I wouldn't mix up too much. I would order better weather next time. It was really hot at those games. It was very hot. I can't control that. And of course, if they come back next year, I really hope that they go to maybe 3 different, if they're going to rotate around, maybe go to 3 different towns, because these towns got to see them. So maybe Denver, San Diego, maybe get one up in Canada and Toronto. There were a lot of Canadian fans down here. They came to the New York match. They came to the Philadelphia match, because those were closest to the border. But then there were even some Canadians down in Atlanta, so maybe they do a North American tour and they hit Toronto and then down here. Because, a lot of Canadian fans too, if you want that merchandise sale and you want, to extend our influence. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'd love to do it in Florida. Miami, Florida be one. That'd be amazing.
Right. It's so hot and humid. Even in Atlanta, it was just so hot. Yeah.
Wow. Atlanta, I'll take Atlanta. And wow, San Diego, yeah. Toronto, definitely. Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, that is where the money is. That is where the merchandise is. Because our football club now, John's going to be on the map. I'm telling you, it is on the map after this. And they all love Newcastle United. I think it'll be a massive club now in America, where Newcastle is concerned as well. Here was the Toon fan. from furthest away you've met?
The furthest away this time?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, the San Diego guys had a long way to travel, and the Toronto and Ottawa fans from Canada had a long ways to go. That'd probably be it. Now, on other trips, when I was in Newcastle, I met a guy from Australia. I met people from Bulgaria. They come from all over the world to go to Newcastle. But yeah, it was mostly the Canadians and the Californians, I think, had the furthest to go.
Yeah. I mean, it is fantastic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because you know what it is? I mean, we get a fan base like that. You don't have to support United, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, or just as a massive club. We are a massive club. We've always been a massive club. Do you know what I mean? And to get people from Bulgaria, get people from all over the world supporting this great club, it just comes a long way, man. It really does.
I do recall the first place we went in Philadelphia, there were some people from Dublin. Yeah, so they came a long ways too. And all the people from the UK, I can't forget that. Met a really nice family from Pontyland, just up near the airport. And we hung out with them a lot. And a lot of other people in Newcastle, that were traveling, Wall's End, South Shields, all over Newcastle that came.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Some from Bristol as well, but that'll happen next year, I could guarantee you. And one more question as well. Who was your Toon player of the tournament?
Oh, it had to be Elliot Anderson. Just scoring 3 goals, in 3 out of 6 of the goals that we scored. Really impressive all the time. He works hard. You're right, John. He's strong. He's not just quick. He's strong too. And so he really impressed me. Again, I wanted him to play more last year because he got in early in one of our matches. I think it was Man City or Man United, and hit the post, at the crossbar, and it was like, oh, we could have won that game if he hit it in. But it was like he's ready.
I think he's ready to start the game. I really do think he's ready to start games, you know what I mean, as well, because we've got competition now. When you look at it, we got on the left side, you got Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon. And talking of those two players, my God, Harvey and Anthony, I tell you what, they're going to step up. I think they're ready now.
Yeah, they are gonna run past some people.
Exactly, with our direct running as well. And on the other side, you've got Jacob Murphy, who still just gets better and better. You know what I mean? For a 28-year-old. And you got Miggy Almiron. I mean, this guy, I think he'll be doing bits again this season. I really do. Yeah,
I hope so, because everybody likes Miggy. He runs, he's the one guy. You can put young guys out there and Miggy. Miggy never gets tired, so it's fun to watch him.
Yeah. One of the best young players, I mean, who are you impressed with the young best players? I mean, if you tell the people who hasn't heard of a name, right? Newcastle fans might have heard of, but one of the names most teams may not have heard of. Give us one player. He's going to come really good, a young gun.
Well, I think Miley, right? And he's really he looks very comfortable out there. There's no timid. There is no, I don't know where I am. He's right in the middle of it, and he looked very well too. Now, some of the other names I just wasn't familiar with, to be honest, John.
No.
Because I don't follow guys I can't see, as much here in the States. So some of the guys that came on yesterday, I had to look, who's this,
I mean, some of the names are like Parkinson, never heard of him. Remy Street, never heard of him. Yeah. I mean, and Alex Murphy, I have heard of him. Yeah. Jamie Miley, never heard of him. Lewis Miley, I've heard of him. Yeah. And these players has come in, right, against a canny team like Brighton, and they stepped up to the plate. I mean, I've been so impressed. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at Remy Street. I mean, if that's his name, is it Remy Street? Is that Remy? I think it's Remy Street.
You got
someone correct me on that one. I mean, he's come for Liverpool, right? Turns down the contract Liverpool to come to us, and he had a poor game against Gateshead. Here we are, comes in, does a job. But Lewis Manley, this guy, he's an absolute phenomenal player. He's going to get better and better and better. The only thing is he's got a fantastic family with him, fantastic family behind him. What we don't want to see is what Gasser has done, gone the wrong road. Lewis Manley, in my opinion, you give him 3 or 4 years, this guy is going to be an absolute stellar of a player.
Yeah, and I like John. I like what Eddie was saying is we don't want to loan him out. He's good enough that we want to keep him with this crew, because our crew of guys can, really show him the way to hard work, to keep fresh and get on the pitch. They're working hard now, and he needs to stay in that group. He'll learn more from those people here than he will from being farmed out to somebody else.
Totally agree. We haven't mentioned Harrison Ashby as well. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's done. I think he's doing a fantastic job since then. Yes, I know that he's got a lot to learn, but in my opinion, I don't think he's gone out on loan. But Swansea City are after him for a season-long loan move. But if he goes there, give him experience. I wish him all the best. But for me, I think he needs to stay.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, he got some good minutes, and he looked good out there too. So those three especially, Miley and Ashby and Elliot Anderson. Those three, especially you want them around the first team, because that'll keep them excited too about I am one step away. I'm so close, And of course, Elliot Anderson's like he's not going to be close. He's going to be in games a lot.
100%, man. We're going to talk about the Salah Cup next Saturday, and 2 games we've got. We've got to play Fiorentina on Saturday and Villarreal on Sunday afternoon. I'll be going to both games. I just got to make sure that I get back in the airport on time. Otherwise, I'm going to miss the flight. I know it's only an hour away from Newcastle to Bristol, but I mean, I'm looking forward to this, and I'll be there live. I'll be doing my vlogging as well, trying to do a bit of fan cams as well, and do things Tyneside lifey style, Eddie style, and listen, I think it's going to be a fantastic tournament. I mean, the tickets, as far as I'm concerned, hasn't been sold out yet, but I heard people saying that the tickets are too expensive, 55 quid for 2 days. But I don't think it is, because what you're seeing 3 games on Saturday with the Lassers friendly against West Brom, and then you can see 2 games on Sunday. But for me, I think it's value for money. But I've seen people kicking off saying, it's too expensive. Last year, something like 35 quid, and now it's gone up to 55 quid. And people are saying that the owners got it so wrong. And I'm sorry, but 55 quid, I think is right. I think it's fine. And you pay your money, takes his choice.
Yeah, I think that I would agree with you. Of course, if I was there, I would pay it, and I would go. And I'm jealous. I wish I could be there. I'd love to do that. But there's a lot of people that won't be able to see games during the regular year because those tickets are very hard to come by. I'm having trouble too getting tickets. But this tournament is a good chance to bring the Barnes and let them see the best players on Newcastle and have a good family outing. I think it'd be great for people who can't get a season ticket, and that's a lot of us. I think it's a good deal.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. 55 quid is really, really good. I mean, I'm a podcaster, so I need to go to the games, like, you know what I mean? Just keep yourself relevant, and away we go. And it's hard, but I know people can't afford it. I don't think it should be a sellout personally, but it'd be nice to see a sellout as well.
I think there'll be a lot of people there for sure.
So I want it to be, because it'll be great for Newcastle United, great for the tournament, and just the quality of opponents. I mean, people are questioning about that as well, John, if you know what I mean. But if you had like a Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund or Napoli, then it would have been fantastic. Or Newcastle, Celtic, Napoli, or Borussia Dortmund, that would have been fantastic. Because Celtics only over the border, so Celtics being millions, then that'd be a sellout.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, but you got to remember, we're still trying to tune up, and we will face immediately, like, what is it, August 12th, the season starter. We're going to hit 5 big games in a row. So we don't need 2 big games to worry about right before that, right? So I'm fine with them tuning up with the teams they have.
Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. I mean, look, that's what it's all about. Everyone wants to see Newcastle, and everyone wants to do really well. And I think we believe so this season. So we'll see on that. Memberships as well. Don't know if you've seen online. Listen, 250,000 people applied online for memberships, right?
Wow.
And there's absolutely no way you're all of us going to see that game. But the thing is, though, I think now we've got to pay it on a scan on our phones and that as well. That's very interesting. Very interesting. And it stops people from selling tickets onto the black market secondhand. You know what I mean? But I mean, these memberships as well. I don't know how that's going to work, but there's going to be in the ballot. I mean, the long-term membership holders don't automatically get their tickets down. They got to be in the ballot as well. I think some of those portion will be used for overseas. I mean, I think it's a good idea in my book. You know what I mean? It gives the people overseas a chance to go. And I know people are kicking off, but that's just my opinion. But you know,
I like the way they've organized it, and they split. Like, I used to buy a membership, and I bought the membership the last 2 years. This year, I did stay up in the morning, and I got a membership, the international membership. They changed it this year. They have international is a different category, but the club is doing really well to make sure that the local fans have a shot first. Okay, for
agree.
And I support that. I'm not going to cry about that. I think Newcastle people need to have a shot first. So
100%. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they got the tickets, and and then after that, see what happens after that. But it's going to be very interesting, and I think it makes it fair for everyone else. So I got a season ticket, which is great.
Oh,
so I was quite lucky because I thought that my season ticket expired, sort of thing. But I was like 1 year left, so I was like, keeping that.
Yeah, that's great.
Sort of thing. So I mean, I'm gonna keep my season ticket, and I don't think I can go to all the games, but again, we see what happens. But away tickets gonna be so tough as well. So I mean, I know it's 2 weeks in the new season. Where do you think Newcastle's gonna finish this season?
Where do I think they finish? That's a tough question. Such a tough question. Because you don't know how the injuries are going to go this year. You don't know what the Champions League exposure is going to do to us. Do we put too much emphasis on Champions League and then we suffer a little bit in the Prem? I know our club last year when we were in FA Cup, they said the Premier League is the most vital, so we can't slip up. We want that cup, but we can't slip up in the Premier League standings. So I think they'll try and play it that way again this year. But I would be happy with top 6 again. We're top 4 this time. That's fantastic. But this year, you got to remember, this happens to American football. Once you get up there, everybody gives their best game when they play you. And we will not surprise anybody this year. When we walk in, they're going to give their best to beat us. A lot of people are jealous of us now. They want to take us down a notch. So I would seriously be happy with a top 6. Now, I could, of course, I don't want to drop from top 4, but I think top 6 is very reasonable, for what we should do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to wrap up there, John, because I know you just got back home, and I don't want to keep you all night, and you got to get your sleep as well.
Yeah.
But yet again, thank you so much for coming on. You know what? I just love having you on my channel because everyone keeps asking, when is John going to come back? And I just say, you know what? I'm going to get him back ASAP because he is a really, and also he knows his stuff, and I'm definitely going to get him back on. And here we are. I mean, whoever comes to my channel, just don't go away disappointed. And
Yeah.
I'll be with them as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, someday I'll get on when, who is it? Louise?
Yeah, Louise. And we're going to do, what is it? We've got to do,
Someday I'll get on when she's on, because she's the Hanwell Town connection. She, likes Hanwell Town. And I was like, oh, good. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Next time we do a review, then I'll definitely get you on as well, because, Louise keeps asking about you as well, and Paul, because we've got a good team as well. And, and they're just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, she wanted to come on my channel, give her that opportunity. And you know what? She is an absolute asset, and so is Paul as well. John, where can we find you on your socials, man, so people can find you?
Well, it should be on the screen there. It's like my Twitter is probably the easiest way to find me, at John O'Hare OK, all one word, JOHN OHARE OK. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. What I'll do, I'm going to put the description link in the description as well, and hopefully this channel will probably pop out later on or tomorrow. I think it'll probably be tomorrow now, but so it gives people a chance to watch it. So guys, if you like the video, like what you watch, and you know what it is, John, I think you're an absolute asset to come on my channel as well, and you always want to come on my channel anytime you want to come on. So we'll do the match reviews. Then what I'll do, we get you on as well, and depends if you've got busy or not, and then you get on Louise as well. It's going to be a great team as well. So would you like that?
Oh, that'd be great, John. I love you. I like listening to your podcast, and it's the pleasure's all mine to be with you. So
thank you very much indeed. I will do backstage as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching our show again, and it's Van Cam's just John's take on the summer series and also the upcoming season as well. And if you like the video, like what you watch, do follow John O'Hare at John O'Hare OK on Twitter, and also he's on other people's channels as well. But on mine, make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, with the lads.